Hello, this is Naomi Bennett, and I'm creating the weekly astrology forecast of 2010. And this is for the week not only of July the 11th, which is just passed, but July the 18th. And I have a website called learnastrologynow.com. So this past week has been very dramatic. We had a solar eclipse last Sunday during the World Cup. And we had many world events happening. May not have hit all these news events in your local paper or in the television broadcast, but if you start Googling some of the world news, then you'll see some of these events. One that everyone had information on was that during the World Cup in Uganda, there were 2 bombs set off and 60 people were dead. And if you'll remember, 2 days before that, the United States had exchanged spies between Russia and ourselves. I think that was on the Friday before. That was on the 9th, and the eclipse was on the 11th. And on the 10th, which was Saturday, there's a massive heat wave that was going on in Germany and across Europe. The temperatures were up to 102 degrees Fahrenheit, and in Europe there's very little air conditioning. And in Germany there were 3 trains that were delayed and stopped with no air conditioning. 1,000 passengers were on those trains. The windows were locked. And basically those people were suffering up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. So some of them had to go to the hospital because of that. And then we had massive mudslides in western China where they reported that there were 17 dead and 44 missing. So you usually have dramatic world events during eclipses, and we certainly have on this one. And then on Monday the 12th, Fidel Castro had a major interview that he hasn't done like in 3 years, and he released 7 Cuban dissidents out of prison, flew them and their families to Spain. And on that same day, on Monday, in Italy, 300 members of a mafia family were arrested. So we had a series of events, and I understand from the news that the heat wave has reoccurred all the way across Russia and through Europe. But when we have a Mars-Saturn aspect during the summer, very often we have major heat waves, and it usually impacts the elderly or the infirmed to quite a degree, because it stresses them to the point that many times you'll find that you can have additional deaths because of the heat wave. But this week is a much calmer week. This is the week of the 18th, and I call it the week, the calm before the storm, because this is the most dramatic period in the entire year, and we have some very big events coming up the week of the 25th and August the 1st. So please do listen to those video casts that I'm going to do for those 2 weeks. So this is your opportunity before I think we're going to have a major drop in the stock market to try and minimize your risk positions, to move into a safer position and not be so vulnerable to drops in the stock market, because I think we have one coming. This last Friday was a drop, and I think that the markets will calm or be shaky this week. But by Friday, we should be more into a crisis mode, because I think the economy around the world are still on a house of cards. And we're still likely to see that we're going to have a greater fallout. This is not unlike 1929 to 1932, where you had a major drop in 1929, but the worst drop was the second one in 1931, or it was in 32. This is the time period we are in right now. We had a major drop in October of 2008, and there'll be another big one. The second leg down is right around the corner. So this is your last opportunity to try and minimize your risk positions, because it's better to have lost an opportunity of a 5% gain in the market than to maybe lose 40% of your capital. So it's a better week. It's a calmer week. I think the market will be shaky by Friday, and there's more to come next week. So this is Naomi Bennett on Learn Astrology Now, and for the astrologers that know astrology, I will post at the end of the video the chart of the week so that you can look at the events that I'm talking about. And there's more to come, so be sure and listen to July the 25th and August the 1st. Signing out.